Hello, it is Kim. How are you doing? Um, it is my birthday week. Coming up, Monday is my birthday. That would be February 26th. So this reading is timeless, really. But it's being recorded the 24th of February 2024. And if you're in the Terra Nova Lyceum, your collective energy I try to get. So it'd be coming for this week. That is, and I think yesterday into today is the full moon. So, happy snow moon, I believe it is. I have to get better at that. I'm not very good at my moon or my astrology or I'm a bad witch. And I'm like, no, this is like I'm evil. I'm just a tired witch, you know? Okay. So I just randomly picked two out of my newer decks. It's just easier. All right. So it got Pleasure Alchemy, and it's by Maud White, the deck and guidebook for self-expression and fulfillment, which we did that before. It's very much a self-lovey sort of thing. And I thought that, yeah, for my birthday, we'll do a little self-love, a little bit of Danielle Dulski, who can go very long. So I only drew two cards. I was trying to draw one, but I drew two. So that's going to be sort of like the after. I mean, like it even has writing prompts, right? So she's like my new like fave, you know? So all right. It says I might want to plug in, so it's probably gonna go off. We'll try it anyway. All right. The first thing that we got was the partner card. It's the ninth pleasure seeker. She shares her pleasure. Okay. And it says that the message is a partner stands at the edge of a vast forest. She smiles at you warmly, invites you to join her. He says balance of give and take, the dance of push and pull. Isn't there such pleasure in this? And of course, the idea is like, yes, partnership is a bit of pleasure. It goes back and forth. And it was inverted, and they don't talk about inversions. So just watch your business partners, watch your, like just like see what's going on. Um, some stuff has gone on with my life that isn't public yet. I don't know if it will be public, but it's like things change really quickly. So just keep your eyes going, okay? The next one that we got was the Force Spark Remedy Secret Corners. And it's sort of like a where to find pleasure, like in those secret little spaces, both in yourself and like in the world, in a corner, in a nook. Um, it says turn off the lights and look at the moon tonight. Check what phase the moon is. Just talked about the moon, right? Mm-hmm. And then there is something utterly delicious about having a secret corner to yourself, a place that is yours alone, arranged and created exactly like you'd like to have. What little corner looks dim and dusty and in need of a little dazzle? Let your secret corner bring new pleasure to your heart. I like that one. The next one is also a spark. It's this tense spark remedy, opened windows. And the idea is you sort of like fling yourself open, right? I say myself. Really, they're talking about actual like literal windows. Is there something delicious about throwing a window and feeling the air in your face? Isn't there a warm breeze? We have a lot of warm breezes around here. Actually, here is 60 where I'm going in Morgantown. It was snowing. Kim is not a snow girl. Isn't a warm breeze on a summer evening pleasurable? So the idea is just take stock of your senses, feel pleasure, open your own personal windows, open your eyes and just sort of look around and just like delight in what we have as we're living. It's so hard to do to take stock of what we should be, how I don't even like the word gratitude, okay? That we should sort of like appreciate and as we're living. And the next one is breathe. And I was like, yes, that goes great with open windows. Breathe. All right. And it is the 12th body remedy. I don't know what that means, but message, alchemist. Let your breath tell a story of pleasure. Sigh with satisfaction. Gasp in delight. Breath is never-ending gift from your body, reminding you to come back to the present moment every time you stray. And I do like that idea of, like, that it's grounding at the same time. We are breathing in life, and it goes right with, like, that pleasure sort of thing. It has may you breathe in and out with intention and strength. May you come home to pleasure as it's sort of like little mantra. I wanna make sure it was the last one before I said it was the last one, but yes. Oops, double checking. This is the straw barrier, which I thought was so interesting. The straw barrier. The third pleasure seeker. She finds sweet, simple pleasures. The strawberry makes her way barefoot through the prickly grass and sun-dappled rocks. In her open palm, she holds a warm, juicy wild strawberry. Here is the secret, she tells you. I have lived so long and seen so much, and yet it is the small, delicate pleasures I remember. The rest fade away. And it's basically calling again, like, it actually has, like, "Slow down, what's the hurry?" And I am always in a rush. I don't know about anyone else. I have my own personal reasons. I didn't read and write for 5 years. My medication is now $1,500 a month, and they wanna change it. There's a lot of reasons to keep running and for me. And, I think that maybe taking a breath will help, I mean, like, we all have our reasons to keep going and going and going. And maybe we'll go further if we just go and do that breath and then taste those strawberries because, like, yeah. I don't know if I've ever had wild strawberries, or at least not that I was supposed to have, but I have definitely picked strawberries with my grandmother and later with my mother in honor of my grandmother. And there is something very not old-fashioned, but timelessness about it, where you feel like you're going deeper into yourself and into the past. Um, that is at least for me. Okay, we're going to Delsky before my computer stops. The Storyteller's Jewels, 32. Okay. We have a million and one stories in our hearts, my love. Call me if you were to leave this world forever today, never having me, if you were to leave the world forever and never told you were destined to tell, would your spirit wander searching for hungry ears? Basically, if you didn't write your story, if you didn't tell your story, if you didn't live your story, if you didn't do everything that you wanted, what are you gonna regret? What are you gonna keep you like, like howling at the night? Um, they have like this phrase, it was a wild morning, and that witch knelt altar side and whispered a prayer to the story of the that's sort of like definitely like can be part of an incantation, or it could be like a call to write. I'm gonna read it again. It was a wild morning, and that witch knelt altar side and whispered a prayer to the story of the okay? We all have some story, and even if we just have to get it out, either like a lot of people have to get it out for like family or their children or the I believe in the world and all sorts of stuff, right? And yes, what are you going to regret? It doesn't have to be a story, it could be art. It's just your presence. What do you want to bring out? Our final card, because this is the shortest reading I think I've ever done, is Seasons of Spice and Hearth, number 26, and it is considered death. Okay. Grandmother speaks. Death is never the end, of course, but even so, no one has ever escaped the Reaper's gaze. Why the fear then? Why the refusal to know what awaits us? Think of the small deaths you have experienced in your life. Our relationships die, our masks fall from our faces, our beloved creatures go into the ground. This is the way of it. The befriending of the word death is an immense source of power. To walk with death is radical, a chin raised to those who would have us terrified and malleable. If you hold hands with both a feeling flesh, and the promise of this body's demise, you are surely living your best life. We are creatures immensely capable of seeing beauty, feeling love, and while understanding that someday we shall find ourselves at the door of death, just as the babe finds itself inevitably pushed from the warm womb. And I cannot say anything better than that about death, at least not just like out loud and not with writing. I have a love affair and like all of my works with death and the Grim Reaper himself, and also just the idea of death. I think it is deeply personal to each of us and something that we might need to explore, and we're being called to explore in this world that fades and comes back and like goes in cycles. Um, Death doesn't have to be a literal death. It can be a beginning of a cycle or an end. Technically it's both, it's transformation. That's in the tarot. Definitely. So there's like a thankful eulogy. Here lies the name. Lived well, I think, at least when. The story I think he would want me to tell is this. I shall surely miss his, to the name I say. And that's like a ritual, but you could do that as like a writing. If you're missing or grieving, write a letter to that person or that pet or whatever, whatever you're grieving. Sorry, truck. Whatever you're grieving. I mean, like there's so much to grieve, loss of a job or even the loss of a promise of a job, right? It doesn't have to be actually anything. All right. Now, there is the Memory Maker's quilt, and I just like the sound of that. Okay, and I'm not going to read it all, but I definitely like the idea that we can patchwork different pieces of our lives and other lives together in sort of like a memorial of sorts. Our history with others' history, and it's just sort of like it's the song of the world, the song of the galaxy universe. Take it for what you will, we are part of everything. And being part of the divine or the divine is part of us or whatever is a tricky thing to have to, it's complicated, right? It has complex emotions that it brings out, like contemplating death, contemplating what we want to have our story be, being able to breathe. I'm trying to get them out. Okay. Breathing, being that strawberrier, right? Because we can think about death and still bring strawberries, right? With whipped cream. And I would say sugared as well, because I always like my strawberries cut with sugar, because that's what I was taught to do. So there you have it. Find some winter strawberries, right? Or what you can. Have some pleasure. Um, have some cake for me. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Be well. Um, so it is.